Ezoic Leap new product is now available. If you log in on your Ezoic dashboard and select your website for which you have not been using Leap yet, you will see an invitation to actually start using it. You probably already have access to several statistics from the dashboard. In that case, this travel website was badly hit by the pandemic and doesn't make money anymore on our visits, but travel is down, as you know. So this travel website made in the last 30 days $10 from 4,600 visits, and its speed score have been measured. So on average, 92 mobile speed score, 94 desktop speed score, and an Ezoic cache hit rate of 82%, meaning that 82% of the pages requested by visitors have been served from Ezoic CDN, their content delivery network that makes sites 30% faster or even more. So what is Leap now? This new product is available for all websites, for any publisher that is already using Ezoic to monetize its website. So let's have a look. Let's get started and register this website, this travel website on Leap. So simply by clicking on this button, my website starts using Leap. From the overview, I can see the core vital scores. So these core web vitals are the new metrics that will be used by Google as one of their many metrics that they use to rank websites among each other. So in this case, my core vital scores have already been measured on the last 28 days, and on average I got 81 on mobile and 84 on desktop, based on pages served to my visitors. So of course, one visitor from one place will have a different score from another visitor from another place for the exact same page, because they might request a different CDN, content delivery network. It might take them longer to actually download the data depending on their local conditions, network conditions. So a lot of things can change. It also depends a bit on the device they use, how fast it is, and so there is a lot of different variants here. Of course, for example, if your main audience is right next to a CDN, so right next to a place where the local version of your website is stored, overall you will have a better score than if all your website visitors are remotely located in the back of the countryside of a country far away from a CDN. And then you will have lower score. It doesn't mean that your website is slow necessarily, but it might show you some potential for improvement. So there are three important measurements in this core web vitals. The LCP, largest contentful paint. So how long does it take for any page that is requested from your site to display the basic information, so what you see first on the screen before you scroll or anything. So on average, it takes 2.7 seconds on mobile to get the first paint of my website when requesting a page. The second one is the first input delay. So how long it takes once you get this first paint to be able to interact with the content that is displayed. On average, on this website, it's 17 milliseconds. And finally, the last metric is the cumulative layout shift. So how long does it take once your website has been painted on the device and the user is able to interact with it? How long it takes to finalize the display. So for example, after all resources have been loaded, it might be that some iframes were not sized properly and are pushing content, so the content might be moved, and this metric measures that. In my case, it's 0.06, which is pretty good. On this overview, you can have access to the leaderboard. So the first time you check the Leap results for your site, you can rank amongst other websites. So in that case, these three websites are the best, the Ezoic website with the best results. And if you want to rank, simply click it where I am not rank. I want to join the leaderboard, and I don't want to anonymize my domain. It's fine, everybody can see it. And now I have access to the leaderboard, but we will come back to the leaderboard later. Let's finish with this overview. So, for example, my website, wherecanifly.com, is the 49th fastest or website with the 49th website with the best results on Leap, which aggregates and measures the Google Chrome Lighthouse results. Then there's a few recommendations. So these are only recommendations. So for example, for most websites, using Google AdSense JavaScript makes them slower than websites that are not using Google AdSense. So if your website is slow, it might be a point of interest. It doesn't mean that using this technology makes your website slow. It is only a recommendation. You can also, at any case, disable Leap, but that's not what we want to do. And again, you have the speed scores. So these are the same speed scores as the one shown on the Ezoic dashboard when you log in. Then the core vitals. So again, these 3 core web vitals. Here you have more detailed statistics. So by day, you can see the average result. So for example, between March 30th and April 3rd, for this website, the LCP, largest contentful paint, was acceptable below 2.5 seconds, and since April 3rd, it is above 2.5 seconds, and it is now orange, so it could be improved. All the time, you always have access to more details. So you have buttons and small pop-ups that are giving you more information about what is shown to you, what you can do, and what it means. So you can see in detail your results for your website on all these core web vitals. And now what interests us is the optimization settings. So before, you had the same optimization settings available in the site speed accelerator, but some of them were had to be paid for. That's not the case anymore. Leap is free for all Ezoic monetization users. So you will have access also to your settings history in case you change something. You can exclude pages. So if you don't want pages to be measured, to be optimized by Leap, you can exclude them if that's the case. But that's not necessary. And you can select for which device Leap will work. So if you want, you can, for example, only have it for desktop, but most likely it's not a good idea. Then let's change settings. So this is only an overview to show you which kind of settings are on or off. And if you want to change them, you need to click the change settings button. And then let's go one after the other and check what they have. First of all, CSS optimization. So the first button is to activate the CSS optimization in general, and then you can tell Ezoic to serve the critical CSS in the header of your web pages and lazy load the rest of the CSS. You can tell Ezoic to remove the unused CSS, so any CSS code that is not used by your web pages, it will not be served to the users, which will make the global site lighter. This option, I don't recommend checking it. Remove unused CSS by page, because for each single page of your website, it will create a local Ezoic version with unused CSS. Generally, the CSS rules can be applied to the whole website, and this actually might slow down, not the content delivery, but it might slow down the content generation time, the optimization time, and the first request to your website might take a lot of time because it will check this page by page. Then you can optimize fonts, you can allow or not slow loading fonts, you can preload fonts, which is very interesting, and I want that. Then I go back to the different settings. Let's go to Minify. So Ezoic can minify itself all the JavaScript code that is used by your website and all the CSS used by your website, as well as the HTML, so remove comments, remove spaces, and more. And if you want to keep something, such as comments that you are using yourself to find issues on your website or whatever, you can ask to keep them. And images optimization, very interesting. So Ezoic will lazy load images for you, will serve all pictures in next generation format, meaning in web picture, which is very optimized picture format. It will resize images, so if your website is serving images that are too big for the container in which they are shown, Ezoic will resize these images on top of serving them in next-gen format such as WebP. And it can also preload background images. Then script execution, so in case you use any script like iframes, like JavaScript, anything, so Ezoic will delay these scripts, so they will be loaded after the content is served, so it will not slow down the content delivery. It will delay ad display, so the same way. The ads will be loaded and executed after the content is loaded, so the visitor will not lose time in his journey on your website. Can also reduce the CPU intensive task. And if you are using a jQuery, which is not my case, so I don't check it, you can preload jQuery and load it directly from CDN, so from a central CDN instead of your website. So this is very useful. For example, if a visitor visits another website that is using the same jQuery CDN and library as you, maybe his browser already loaded this script and will not need to load it again on your website, and his journey on your website again will be faster. Then static asset cache policy. So this is this setting will help to cache images, style sheets, scripts, or fonts from your website. So it will tell the browsers of the visitors to cache these files for longer on their local computer. So it will not download it again next time it visits your website. Then on the content side, so this is where the iframes can be lazy loaded, and can also optimize tweets. I don't embed any tweets on my website, but if that's your case, you can do it. And I guess here in the future we will expect more optimization, such as Instagram optimization, Facebook optimization, if you are using the widgets from these products. And finally, pre-connect. So you know, the website will the data of your website will have instructions at the beginning to tell the browser to pre-connect to other sites, and this helps the content delivery because the browser already knows to establish a connection with these other origins. So for example, if your HTML code serves files from various servers, the browser will then know that it should pre-connect to these servers, and it will have an easier and a faster time to get files from these servers. Once you have selected all the settings you want to optimize your website, you can click on Next. You can preview if you want, so let's preview. So here I am previewing my website with all these optimizations. Okay, perfect, that was pretty fast. And you can then activate these settings, which is what we do. So let's check. So this is my travel website homepage. So let's go to Developer Tools and check the Chrome Lighthouse results. So here we go to Lighthouse and Generate Report. So Chrome will test accessing your website, querying all the servers, getting all the resources, and will measure the score. And actually these scores are the kind of scores that will be included in Google YB.Digital's test. So in this case, my website is close to perfection, Performance is perfect, so first contentful paint is perfect, time to interactive is perfect, speed index is fine, total booking time is fine, largest contentful paint is fine, cumulative layout shift is fine. My accessibility is perfect, so this is mostly, accessibility is mostly based on your website design, so there a content delivery network cannot really do anything. For example, if buttons are too close to each other, the accessibility is not very good because it's hard for a user to click correctly or to tap on mobile on your links. Then best practices are applied. So the only issue I have here is an Ezoic issue that I actually already reported, and tech support is working on it. So one of their scripts adds the script as an unload listener. But I solved all possible issues from my website side. So I use HTTPS, secure connection. I secure cross-origin destinations and much more. There is a lot of tests. And finally, regarding SEO, although I pass 100% this test, my website does everything it should from a search engine optimization point of view. So that's pretty good results, right? I mean, without this, what would I get? Without a CDN and image optimization and much more. So Leap really here makes your website faster. Using Ezoic makes your website faster, and you can actually see it live once you are using the Ezoic system and you are monetizing some of your websites and using the Leap toolset. Then on the side of technology, this is where it will help you in case you are not deep into web technologies. You will have access to a whole library of technologies to help you choose the right one for anything you do. So, for example, if you use an icon set, which is my case, you can go to the icon packs technologies, and here you will have a list of technologies that you could use if you have issues on your website. You can, for example, here find which technology might work better for your website or not. So again, here, all the ratings that are given are based on observations from other websites. It doesn't mean that these technologies are good or bad. This is it depends on many factors, but it's only to show you that in general, on the websites that have been assessed by Ezoic, websites using these technologies were faster or slower than websites not using these technologies. It doesn't mean that any of them shouldn't be used or anything. It's only an indication. So this technology library is very useful to help you find the best one. So if you are wondering, for example, you want to include a message board on your website, you simply go here, check technology, and here see what they offer. So actually this is not a good example. For example, if you want to use a web framework, here it will show you which web framework are the fastest based on their observation, and you have this for all kind of technology. So in my case, these are the technologies used on my website. So except HTML, CSS, Java, and my website JavaScript, the only technologies that I include are Google AdSense, AMP, Font Awesome, the icon set, Cloudflare, which is free using Ezoic, and Google Analytics. Then finally, if you want, you can test. So let's check my website main page and see what it will do. So you can come in this tester and enter any URL you like on your website. So again, just like the Chrome Lighthouse test, it might take a bit of time as the system is performing a few checks. So here, for example, in this test, it tells me that the largest contentful paint is not so good according to Ezoic. So on the web server from where they are testing, it's not as fast as I saw here from my own laptop and internet connection. So their server that is located somewhere else has a different experience browsing my website. So in their case, the first contentful paint is 2.3 seconds, which is a lot. And it tells me here what I could do to solve it. So for example, I could remove JavaScript. So again, this is ads script that is not coming from me, so I cannot do anything here, but I already reported the issue. Again, this is only issues actually related to ads. And here, for example, this is something I could solve. So I have too many DOM elements. I have too much content on my website. So what I could do, for example, on this home page, would be to remove some content. So I have too many HTML content in the source code. So if I open the source code here, it tells me that there's too much content. So a good improvement to make it load faster could be to remove some of these elements. And again, for this test, you can check both the mobile and the desktop results, which can be different. And finally, the leaderboard. It's always nice to rank against other websites, see where you stand, what you could do to improve, what are the best ones doing to actually improve their results. So my website, WCIFly.com, is number 49 in the global Ezoic leap results. And anyone else can click on my website, and if he wants the same results, like here, he will get a button, try their settings, and he can directly try the same settings as my website on his own website. So on mobile, I am 49.